Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, German Bitcoin mining firm known as Northern Bitcoin has entered a merger agreement with United States-based competitor Whinstone to jointly build what will be supposedly the world's largest Bitcoin mining farm. According to a Northern Bitcoin press release published on the 18th of November, Whinstone is already building the aforementioned facility, which is expected to have a capacity of 1 gigawatt on an area of over 100 acres. In Texas, the mining farm in question will allegedly be the largest data center in North America. The first phase of the construction, which is expected to conclude in Q1 of 2020, will already have a capacity of 300 megawatts. Construction is expected to be completed in Q4. I held up 3 fingers. Q4 of 2020. The first 2 clients that will take advantage of the upcoming facility will purportedly be 2 publicly traded corporations that will use a significant portion of its capacity for Bitcoin mining. Still, after its completion, the data center will also allow for the acceleration of video rendering and artificial intelligence applications. Northern Bitcoin is a stock-traded company founded last year that specializes in sustainable Bitcoin mining. The firm operates a mining farm on renewable energy in Norway. Kind of fascinating in that, I don't know if people have been really following the last 3 or 4 months. We've had news stories like this a couple of times, and there's multiple companies all claiming that they're going to be creating the world's largest Bitcoin mining farm. And they all can't be the largest. I don't think they're all going to be exactly the same size. So I wonder which one will be the largest. The most interesting part is that even as prices are going and have gone down that we've seen over the last couple of years, since 2018, the mining space has done exceptionally well, and that tons of people, even when we had news that there were people who were turning off their mining equipment off, which apparently was a lie. They were waiting for the difficulty to readjust. We've seen a number of major companies who are now putting as much money as possible into the mining space, which means that we're probably going to have maybe a shift in the amount of people who are trying to become the, dare I say, the Bitmain of the cryptocurrency space, even with Bitmain also announcing that they're going to be, is this part of Bitmain? No, it doesn't say their name anywhere. We also had news about 3 weeks ago that the people from Bitmain who allegedly, air quotes, control anywhere from 43 to around 60 to 70% of all the Bitcoin mining capacity, we're also opening up their own or a brand new facility. I believe it was in Texas. It's somewhere in the States where they can get cheap electricity. And there was also that other company who was also building something in Alaska. Like, everyone they're building more and more to start mining more Bitcoin. Just fascinating the speed at which is happening, especially as prices have dwindled. I put air quotes for no reason. They actually have dwindled. Here's the actual press release right here. And yeah, let's move on. Next up, ShapeShift is launching its own token known as Fox, doubling down on the exchange's attempts to further decentralize cryptocurrency trading. ShapeShift released a token akin to Binance's BNB on Wednesday, enabling commission-free trading with 0 fees between cryptocurrencies. All platform users who sign up get 100 free Fox tokens automatically, which if held never expire, and provide $10 worth of free trading volume per token on a rolling 30-day basis. They said, "We've obviously been thinking about doing a token ever since 2017, and we want to make it wade into it very slowly and carefully." This was said by Erik Voorhees. "We've kind of been evolving our concept on what our coin is going to be over the last 2.5 years. ShapeShift's Fox joins other exchanges such as Binance Coin and Bithumb Coin, BN, while still falling under the utility token classification. The ERC20 token has a limited purpose, at least for now, that has nothing to do with establishing a new chain. Basically, we're trying to get people away from custodial exchanges. This is an endemic problem in the crypto world that was a problem in 2011 when I first got involved, and it's still a problem. So we realized that to solve that problem, we had to provide all that stuff in one place." How to explain what he just said? In 2011, for those of you who don't know, there was a card game called Magic the Gathering. There was a website called Magic the Gathering Online Exchange. Someone took that website, turned it into a Bitcoin trading platform. And what ended up happening is the exchange was hacked, I believe, according to what I've read. It was hacked multiple times, except for one really large hack, which resulted in, I think, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of I think it was hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin disappearing. Someone stole them. I think they were able to reacquire some of them, whatever the case might be, yada, yada, yada. That was because it was on a custodial exchange, air quote. You had to give them your coins, and therefore they held your coins. If they lost your coins, you didn't have your coins. And this is kind of what ShapeShift is trying to convey in this message, as far as get away from those and use ours. I mean, it's a little weird. I think we're also very close to another proof of keys day, which is pretty much, I think we had that at the beginning of this year, and I assume the next one will follow around the same exact day next year. It's pretty much where people are told to take their cryptocurrencies off of cryptocurrency exchanges to simply see if the actual cryptocurrency exchange actually has those cryptocurrencies on their order book. Basically meaning cryptocurrency exchanges can tell you anything. They can say, yeah, we have your cryptocurrencies. It's, see the number right here. It says we have it. And then we try and take it off. It says there's a problem. There's a delay. You can't take it out. This has happened before with banks, and there are things called bank runs, for those of you who don't know. And it's pretty much where people go to a bank. They run to the bank and they try to take their money out all at the exact same time. If you've been around for the last 10 years in the world, you know that most banks don't actually hold as much money as they say they do, because they expect people to buy things digitally. They expect people to simply tap their card, swipe their card in some other way. Most people, if you ask to take out all the money in your account, they will look at you like you're crazy and ask you why you want to do that, because most banks, a lot of them nowadays, do things digitally. They expect other people to simply follow this way and not actually walk around with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in a bag. So the point to be made is that this is another crypto exchange who has created a token. Wonderful. It's expected that all cryptocurrency exchanges at some point will have their own token. I'm certain. If all the other ones are doing it, Coinbase is definitely working on it as well. They're probably just looking for like a cute name to be able to call it. It's just kind of how things go. ShapeShift and Erik Voorhees more so, unless I'm mistaken. He was a major player in the very beginning of the Bitcoin space, and he was one of the advocates for the hyper-decentralized world, where nothing fell under a centralized point of failure, yada, yada, yada. I think they got a lot of slack. A lot of people were complaining last year that ShapeShift I think that they had announced AML KYC laws on their platform. It's not their fault. It's the CFTC, the SEC, the Financial Action Task Force, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank. They're all making sure that anything that deals in cryptocurrencies is a money transmitter. And as a money transmitter, you must comply by the law. And you have to pretty much, give the information, do so and so and so, follow this procedure, take a name, what have you. So, I mean, this is why ShapeShift has kind of fallen out of favor. They're still very popular, to be fair. They're still incredibly popular. They offer this service typically. I'm pretty sure it's ShapeShift. Like, if you want this coin, you want to swap to another one without having to use this or do so and so, you can do it directly through the wallet. So it's a good service. Not surprised that they launched the token. In the back of my head, everything reverts back to money or to make more money. And you can't really knock them for trying to do what everybody else is doing. Here's a very weirdly fascinating one. Binance has acquired the well-known Indian crypto exchange known as WazirX, bringing easier cryptocurrency access to a population of over 1 billion people. According to an announcement published today, users will be able to use Indian rupees to buy and sell crypto via the Binance Fiat gateway as early as the 25th of November. During the first quarter of 2020, WazirX auto matching engine will be integrated into the Binance Fiat gateway so that Binance.com users will be able to directly place orders on the flagship exchange to purchase Tether against the INR. With its integration, any crypto tradable on Binance.com will become accessible to those who purchase USDT via WazirX. In an interview with Cointelegraph, Kashif Raza, co-founder of the Indian crypto regulatory news and analyst provider Crypto Canoon welcomed the development, suggesting that the acquisition will provide a major morale boost to the Indian startup space at a time of deep regulatory uncertainty. This uncertainty is highly likely to so-and-so, early July, RBI. This is crazy for a number of reasons. India has been very pro-anti-crypto since about 2017. They had a situation, who's calling me? I don't know that number. They had a situation in 2017 where they announced that they were going to, I think the end of 2017, that they were thinking of banning Bitcoin, banning cryptocurrencies. And this was mainly because the prices were going up and they had completely missed the boat, the train, and didn't realize that it was going to be popular. This is kind of how I feel about it. They joined the other group of countries who were like, no, we hate it, we don't like it, we can't really stand it, let's get rid of it. India, throughout the course of 2018, and even more so throughout the course of 2019, as this year is pretty much basically almost over, had announced that they were going to regulate cryptocurrencies in some sort of way, and they did not do so. Multiple cryptocurrency exchanges within India closed down. I think even the largest one, I think they either shut down or they had to like minimize their operation. People were getting fired all over the place, and everyone kept on going to the Indian government, the Indian RBI, all this other stuff, the Reserve Bank of India, and kept on saying, please give us some type of regulation. We get it. The point has been made. Stop torturing us. Just give us what we need so that we can continue doing our business. And they were like, okay, on the 1st of May, we will have regulations. 1st of May came. We haven't decided yet. Give us to the 1st of June. 1st of June came. Give us to September. September, you will have your cryptocurrency regulation. And this is, they've made about 14 announcements over the course of the last 2 years that they would have some type of cryptocurrency regulation. The point being, to kind of bring this all home, is that every other crypto exchange, every other major crypto exchange has crumbled, fallen apart. All the other ones have completely disappeared, and it lowered morale around the cryptocurrency space because everyone kept on thinking, well, they keep shutting down, they keep so-and-so, and so are we legally able to hold it? Can we buy Bitcoin? Can we sell Bitcoin? Can we so-and-so and so? In order for Binance, unless I'm mistaken, especially with all of the lack of regulation, and I'm sure the Indian government has been relatively scrutinized everything trying to get into the country, Binance must have spoken with the Indian government in some sort of way to be able to have an acquisition like this of an actual cryptocurrency exchange, to be able to sell to people in India. This leads me to the exact other discussion that we had during the course of 2018 about the people from Ripple opening an office in India and also partnering with all the banks. You can't partner with a bank. You can't partner with a company, and I'm pretty sure you can't monetarily acquire a cryptocurrency exchange without the government knowing in some sort of fashion, especially as Binance has made it their thing to make sure that they speak to world leaders and make sure that the world leaders in these countries are comfortable with them so that they can get comfortable with the cryptocurrency space. Allowing people in India, I assume that this is also the trick as well. People in India being able to use the rupee to buy Tether, and then with Tether being able to buy any cryptocurrency that's on Binance is very smart. It gets around that entire loophole. I mean, it is a loophole, I guess, if you kind of want to say it that way, that we saw before where people in India, I believe, had a hard time actually acquiring cryptocurrencies. This is great. Whenever we get news like this and Bitcoin doesn't move up, I just scratch my head, hoping that one day it'll all make sense. We've seen rumors of Binance. This isn't even a rumor. This is confirmed. The other rumor being that Binance was also going to enter into China and have an over-the-counter buying, trading, so-and-so exchange for people within the country to have another way to be able to acquire cryptocurrencies, to be able to acquire Bitcoin, and prices still go down. What have you. It is what it is. However, the idea that Binance, in some sort of way, has opened up in India to allow people, 1 billion people who may not have otherwise potentially have had complete access to be able to buy cryptocurrencies, now having access to it by the 25th of November is insane. So here's the actual press release right here. It says Binance acquires India's leading digital asset platform, WazirX, to launch multiple fiat to crypto gateways. That's incredible. I hope prices react one day. I hope they wake up and really realize what this means. Keeping this all in mind, Everything that we talk about, everything that we have, everything that we see, none of this existed in 2017 when prices hit $20,000. So one can only assume, when I tell people that I believe that prices, at least of Bitcoin, will at least hit $20,000 again, if not go up to $50,000, if not $100,000, it's because of things like this. We didn't have a situation before in 2017 where billions of people on this planet were able to have access. We only had Coinbase, we had Binance, which was 3 months old, and we had Kraken and a couple of other stragglers who have all closed down by now. Anyway, that's fantastic news. I'm sure the market won't react because it doesn't make any sense. And without further ado, let's move on. In what might actually be my favorite story because of just how ridiculous it is, Heath Tarbert, chairman of the U.S. Commodities Futures Trading Commission, that is the CFTC, says it is not yet clear what sort of product Libra will be, including whether Libra might be a security. Speaking to CNBC at the sidelines of the CME Group Global Financial Leadership Conference on Tuesday, Tarbert addressed the current U.S. regulatory stance on cryptocurrencies and blockchain and the nation's global positioning regarding the technology. He said, or rather, while CNBC originally stated that Tarbert claimed Facebook's Libra as a security, the headline was changed after publication. Rather, Tarbert only contrasted Bitcoin, which the CFTC has classified as a commodity, with Libra in terms of its current stage of development. Bitcoin has been around for 10 years, is well understood, and the CFTC is able to classify that not as a security, but as a commodity. He said, on the other hand, Libra is a fundamentally different product, but currently in a state of flux. Libra, he said, is developing, and there are a bunch of unanswered questions, and also the way that it's structured, linking it directly to a set of national currencies, a very different product. I don't know if you can feel where this is going. I don't know if you can feel in the air what this kind of means. Former CFTC chair Gary Gensler had previously argued that Libra should indeed be regulated as a security. Still, a CFTC decision over Libra status will likely have to wait until the stablecoin, which is expected by the Libra Association to be pegged to the US dollar, the euro, the yen, the British pound, and the Singapore dollar, is launched. That's slated for mid or late next year if the project can get over the considerable regulatory pushback it's seen so far. I'm going to definitely assume not only is Libra going to launch, I think a number of countries are going to welcome it with open arms. This is a very different energy that we've seen compared to what we saw this summer. Everyone hated Libra. Libra had to go. Libra couldn't make it. Libra was terrible. Libra cannot launch. Libra can't simply be. And to state from the head of the CFTC that Libra might not be a security. Libra might be a commodity. Tells me, especially, where did he say it? As far as it's fundamentally different and there are a lot of unanswered questions. Remember the classification or the rules or whatever the law that we got sometime, I believe it was either middle of this year, beginning of this year, where the SEC gave that whole paperwork that said what could be considered a security, or if you are a security, this is why. If you are not a security, this is also why. It has to do with massive decentralization, your nodes being in different places. Who owns the majority of the supply? Who owns this? Who owns that? Who owns yada, yada, yada? Imagine a situation. Stay with me here, because once again, this is all about money. This is speculation, but it's a very logical speculation. All the people who hated Libra and was talking negatively about it have kind of dwindled, disappear. We never hear any more about them. Even though Libra remains a huge threat in that Facebook could become the largest bank overnight. Everyone seems to be okay. And imagine a situation where Libra simply went to lawmakers and said, any information we get, you get. You can classify us however you want, or we can simply do so and so and so and make sure that we have X amount of nodes, X amount of so and so. We don't hold more than 51% of the supply. We do this, we do that. And then we no longer fall under the ruler leadership of the SEC and are considered a commodity. It's far too... If you had the chance to go on CNBC as the head of the CFTC and you did not care about Libra, you would declare, we don't like it, it doesn't look good to us, and we will not allow it within this country, as many other countries have done. However, the stance seems to be softening very rapidly about Libra. I mean, to be fair, the people from Libra probably have at least 200 lawyers who are going through all the paperwork, figuring out exactly what they need to do to not only launch, for people to be comfortable with their launch. It's the same exact thing where they were talking about that maybe they don't have to even do the whole basket of currencies and they can simply just launch different pegged stable coins that would then be linked to Libra. This thing is going to launch. It's just the manner of which people have become very comfortable with it leads me to believe, like I said before, who was that? What was the other country about 2 months ago who was like, yeah, Libra's not that bad. Everyone's over exaggerating. As long as we regulate them, they'll be fine. And it's like, yeah, you are either running a node or you are going to make millions from the launch of this coin. Like I said, that was my favorite news story because we no longer hear about a moratorium for Libra. We no longer hear about this has to be stopped. Those whispers are done and gone. Now we only hear about if it does launch, it can fall into this category. To think that Libra might not be considered a security and that it could be ever considered decentralized enough, like Bitcoin, to be considered a commodity in the eyes of US regulators is nonsense. Complete nonsense. I would bet, no real money or cryptocurrencies just in case, sometime by spring, we should start hearing about the actual beginning of the launch of Libra. There are already, and it's scary because there are already a couple of countries who have gone to Facebook to talk with them about Libra, which leads me to believe at least 5 to 10 countries are going to come forward when Libra launches and say, we're using Libra, which is terrifying. However, I think by the time they end up launching, we're going to start hearing exactly... the point to be made, if we start hearing by spring news stories about how Libra is decentralized, Libra is more decentralized, or Libra is going to be super decentralized by the time it launches, this will let all of you know that they needed to do what they needed to do in order to be able to launch properly. We've seen ridiculous news articles before from CNBC, from Bloomberg, from all of them. I bet you we're going to start seeing articles by spring or before Libra's launching talking about how decentralized it actually is and how even comparatively it may be close to the decentralization of Bitcoin. That will have sealed it in my mind that lawmakers, law so-and-so, whatever, regulators are hand in hand skipping down the street with Libra. But this then also leads us to that world where Facebook then becomes a bank, and then the largest bank. So get ready, because I can feel it in my bones. I know it's going to happen. Next up, a draft bill setting out how crypto-related income should be taxed in Ukraine has been submitted to the country's parliament, the Verkhovna Rada. The bill was prepared by Ukraine's digital transformation ministry, the Blockchain for Ukraine, that's clever, Interfactional Parliamentary Association, and the Better Regulation Delivery Office organization. The ministry said in an announcement reported by local news agency Union on Tuesday. The document, authored by 13 members of parliament, is intended to amend UK's taxation code and introduce principal concepts related to the crypto assets. The bill defines such assets as a special type of valuable property in the digital form created, accounted for, and disposed of electronically, such as cryptocurrencies, tokens, and other kinds not specified in the draft. They said, we're confident the draft, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Where's the other part? Crypto income would generally be taxed at a standard rate, which is 18% in the Ukraine, but in better news for traders, there's an initial 5% rate of personal income from the sale of cryptocurrencies for a 5-year period following an approval of the bill. The point being, they're trying to pass a bill, which is smart of them. I told you all before, whoever has the lowest tax rate gets the most people in their country. where pretty much the tax would go from 18% to 5% over a 5-year period. If after the end of the 5 years, if they decide to raise that back to 18%, people can pick up their computers and go somewhere else. But maybe it's more of a long test period, because we've seen other countries who either have free, like rather it's no tax. Another free is one that has, I think, a 1% tax, and one that has a 4% tax. So good luck. But the point being, I appreciate when countries openly acknowledge that we need the extra money, so we're going to tax it. However, we won't tax you as much as our neighbors because we're smart and we're trying to get you to do business in our country. We'll see exactly how this ends up working out. Yeah, let's move on. And to kind of finish things off, an entrepreneurship center at the University of Oxford says it is joining Ripple's University Blockchain Research Initiative, the UBRI. On its LinkedIn page, the Oxford Foundry announced its plans to join the initiative. They said the Oxford Foundry has announced plans to tackle the growing technical skills or technology skills gap in the UK with a new partnership with the leading blockchain technology provider, Ripple, and its University Blockchain Research Initiative. Where was the other important part? The Foundry, university, give students, cooperate, money. It's on the fund of UBI. And this week, apparently, Kyoto University, which joined the initiative in summer, launched an XRP validator last week that will help the university or the network. Why can't I get this right? No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, I can't get it right. I see the words, I read something else. I just will help the network verify and process transactions on the ledger. The people from Ripple last year announced that they would do what they needed to do to be more decentralized, and I think a lot of their validators have moved to other people, other companies. What we've seen especially is that a lot of universities around the world are now joining Ripple, joining their initiative, or are running validators for their transactions. This is also why Oxford joining Ripple in some sort of initiative also isn't too surprising, because for some reason they're targeting universities. We don't hear much about this ever on CNBC or the news as far as like what Ripple is doing. It's always like, which banks are you working with? Who are you working with? Who's using XRP? But there's something happening behind the scenes where for some reason they're also working with tons of universities. I'm not sure if that's a prerequisite of decentralization as far as like get a university to run a node and therefore you're more decentralized, but it seems to be happening. So cool. Kudos to them. And the validator firing up. I couldn't end that sentence properly. As always, who called me? That was really weird. A very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohammed Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Woody and Daisy, Triple M and J, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Milweezy, Mechanic, Strange, Radio Central, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Cryptopolis, Nicholas Renorth, One Piece, One Love, Damien Set Suna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle keeps skipping that leg day. Yes, to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Sam Buucha, Ting Tang, Walla Walla Bing Bang, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, and Shoop Shoop, Diddy Wop, Hummer Wang Dang. Thank you all very, very much for your support. For those of you not looking at the screen, and for those of you who are looking at the screen, avert your eyes. Bitcoin has dropped below $8,000 as was to be expected. If Bitcoin had gone up, I would have gasped heavily because it's fairly obvious that people were trying to push the price down. There are a number of Twitter analysts who are stating that they believe that Bitcoin is on its way to $5,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. Why do they think so? Because it matches perfectly with the November 15th scenario in 2018 where Bitcoin had to fall in order to match their predictions before going back up. So who knows what the bottom is? Who knows where the bottom might be? All I know is if prices go down, I myself buy because the buying opportunity is far too good. I believe in a year we will maybe not see prices where they currently are ever again. However, always do your own due diligence, your own research. Don't buy randomly or haphazardly. Make sure that what you buy is good, that it is going to be used, that it is not by a company telling you that they're going to use it or that they have partnerships that they don't really have. Make sure that it is a trusted name. I feel like I'm selling like something on a commercial or something like that. The point being, you know what I'm trying to say. Don't buy crappy coins. Buy coins that the major figures in the game are buying themselves or custodying. Good indication of where the money is flowing to. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely freaking-tastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.